On this episode, I'm going to show you how to signal your particle device. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of DailyIoT. A quick one for you today, but this is a little pro tip for all of you particle device lovers out there. I've been doing a lot of things with the particle photon. I'm trying to dive deep with the particle ecosystem, and so we're going to continue on with that theme today and talk about how we can signal a particle photon or a core or electron, whatever it may be, how we can signal a device to identify it. Now, why would we want to do this? So I have sort of this mock scenario set up right now. I've got three photons, actually two photons and a core sitting here on my desk. And every time you claim a photon or a core or electron, you give it a name. And, sometimes you might not give it a super descriptive name, or you're just getting started, so you just name it like photon 1 or my photon or something like that. And once you've been playing around with these for a while, if you're like me and I've got them all over the place, you lose track of maybe what the names are, and so you're not sure which one's plugged in. And so you might be in a scenario where I've got a couple here on my desk that I'm developing on, and I'm not sure which one is which, and I need to identify it. Another scenario for this would be maybe you've got several of these throughout your house. Maybe you're building a bunch of sensors and you've got one up in your bedroom and one out in the garage and one up in the attic. And now you've got one here on your desk that you're trying to develop on, but you can't remember the name of it. And so when you come in to the Cloud IDE, it gives you a list of devices that you can program. There might be 3 or 4 online. You're not sure which one is the one that you're trying to target and program for. And you don't want to mess up the one that's sitting up in your attic and screw that up. So how do we go about doing this? Well, the people at Particle have got you covered on this. There's a very slick way of identifying a particle device, and I want to show you how to do that today. So we're going to come back to our IDE that we've been spending time in the last several episodes, and we're going to come down here to the devices. And you can see I've got several devices. I've got this old school core, I've got Frigi, and I've got microcast photon. And so these are named fairly well. I'm not going to have any problem identifying. Of the 3 devices that I have here on my desk, there's only one core, so I know which one it is. But pretend that these are named core photon 1 and photon 2, and I'm not sure which one I want to set up as my target here in the IDE. And so I need to signal it. Now, there's a really slick way right here within the IDE. For example, if I drop down Frigi here, we have this signal button. And I can go ahead and hit that, and you'll notice one of my photons, that's my Frigi one right there. You see that started to go, they call it the rainbow flash. It's just going to flash like that to let me know, hey, this is the Frigi device. And so I can hit stop signaling. I can do this for any one of these. I can go to my old school core here, hit signal on that, and he's going to start doing the rainbow flash as well. Pretty cool. So I'll stop signaling there. Now, that's nice to have that through the IDE. It's an easy way to identify a core or photon or electron. But if you want to level up a little bit, we can also do this through an obscure command with the particle command line. You know, I've been loving the command line. I've been showing you how to do various things there, and this is no exception. We can make the fancy LED rainbow dance happen from the command line. Let me show you how to do that. The command for this is going to be particle particle cloud nyan, and then we can just leave it at that, and let's see what happens when we just leave it at that. Particle cloud 9. I'm going to hit enter and watch what happens. All 3 of my devices, and it's not just all 3, any device I have is going to start doing the rainbow flash when I do particle cloud nyan. And I'm not sure what you would use that for, other than it's a pretty cool looking thing if you have 3 of them sitting on your desk. And so how do we turn that off? Well, it's really simple. We can do particle cloud nyan off. And then you'll see they'll all turn back to the breathing cyan, which is the normal state. So that's not super useful. It's just kind of a fun party trick. So how do we get an individual one? How do we identify an individual particle device? And that's very simple as well. We use the same command, particle cloud nyan, and then give it a name. I want to find my Frigi device. I can't remember which one that is. So I'm going to say Frigi on. I'm going to enter, and then you just wait a few seconds, and and we should get, we're not going to get anything. We're not going to get anything. Misspelled it. Let's flip those around. Fridge eye on and hit enter, and you'll see that my photon, which is named fridge eye, will do that. And then we can do the same thing with another device. We could say, I want my old school core. Oh, I am having a hard time with the keyboard today. On, and you'll see that that's going as well. And the same thing, we can turn them off individually. We can just change this to off, and it'll switch back to breathing cyan. We'll turn it back on. If you have several going at once, we can turn them all off by just doing particle cloud nyan off. Hit that, and they will all go back to breathing cyan. Okay, so that's it. That's it for today. Just a little particle pro tip. If you have a hard time remembering what you named a specific particle device and you would like to signal it, get that LED to flash in that rainbow pattern so you can identify it, that's how you can do it, through the Cloud IDE as well as the Particle CLI command utility. So hope you find that useful in your Internet of Things journey at some point. It certainly is helped me once or twice because I've got so many of these things lying around. But I appreciate everybody watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can put something in the comments below or reach out on Twitter. I'm at Kevin Sidwar, or always on email, kevin@sidwar.com. I'm happy to answer questions about anything. If you just have questions about your project, happy to try and help with those. I really appreciate you watching Daily IoT, the show where together we're learning how to make the Internet of Things one day at a time.